Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We have come back here with some more insights on what is happening at the geopolitical stage. Um, actually, I think today as in 24th Feb, marks the 4-year anniversary of Russia-Ukraine war. We will be discussing on the situation in Iran, and we will be uh, checking what's happening in US as well. Okay, so let's get to it. So in Iran, massive student protests have broken out. Iranian students rise in multiple cities commemorating uprising martyrs and defying regime forces. So a little while ago, as in January, no, uh, let's get to the point that all these protests, all these uprisings are done by US and Israel. That is a fact. Now, this is done to topple the regime. That is the main aim. We saw President Trump also saying that help is on the way at a specific point of time. Now he has amassed. Now he has amassed a massive military uh, close to Iran, we can say, and talks are being held. Now we know that US cannot launch a direct strike on Iran because the approval of Congress is required for it, and the vote for that is not yet done. But I don't think President Trump is going to win that vote. President Trump can carry out a surgical strike, or the second option is if Iran itself attacks the US troops, which are in a striking distance, then President Trump can wage a war. Now, technically speaking, unless and until you're going to poke somebody, things are not going to happen. So there's a second round of protest. I cannot say that these protests are caused by US or anybody else, but the timing is that if there is an internal problem in Iran and there is an external threat, and meanwhile at the negotiating table Iran is getting surrounded, then Iran might take certain steps which it will not like, which Iran might take certain steps which could allow President Trump to wage a war or make a strike or do something. So this is all like shaking things up. That's what it looks to me. Um, so there is a and moreover, it might totally be possible that US and Israel are not behind the second wave of uprisings, mostly because in the first protest, Iran has killed thousands and thousands of protesters. They have actually gunned them down, and no news is coming out of Iran for a long time. We got a hold of one video today, which it was uploaded on this channel.
Not in whispers,
Let's take a look at it.
but in chants echoing across university campuses. From Tehran to Mashhad, from dormitories to city streets, students are back. And this time, the slogans are different. February 21st, 2026. Many are calling it the beginning of a new wave. And if you listen closely, it doesn't sound like fear. It sounds like defiance. It began early Saturday morning. At Sharif University of Technology in Tehran, students gathered in large numbers. Not dozens, not scattered groups, crowds. They chanted, "Death to the dictator, death to Khamenei," and something that hasn't been heard at this scale from students in years. Javid Shah, long live the Shah. For decades, Iranian university students were
Okay. So once a protest goes out of line, then it gets difficult to control it. And At this particular point, if I was at the top of, I shouldn't say I, at this particular point, I'm pretty sure that the leadership in Iran is having a difficult time because I think next week as well, there's a nuclear summit as well. I don't exactly know what its name is, but there is a summit where everybody is going to discuss about, like, Iran's nuclear enrichment program is going to be there on the table. Next week there is a vote as well for Congress upon deciding what needs to be done with this U.S.-Iran war. And next week, um, these protests have come up, so next week Iran might also be taking action on it. So who knows? Next week is going to be um, pretty full of news. I shouldn't say interesting, but it is definitely going to be full of news. Anyways, let's let's keep watching it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so President Vladimir Putin from Russia has given a speech on this specific day, Defender of the Fatherland Day. So let's take a look at a small portion of that speech, not a lot.
Пожалуйста, прошу вас. Добрый день, уважаемые товарищи. Поздравляю вас с праздником, с Днем Защитника Отечества. С праздником, который в последние годы мы отмечаем с особым чувством гордости и благодарности. Чествуем всех, кто с риском для жизни, отвагой и мужеством, с любовью к России, к нашему народу исполняет свой воинский долг в зоне специальной военной операции. Стоит на страже наших рубежей, обеспечивает стратегический паритет. Россия сражается за свое будущее, за независимость, за правду и справедливость. А на передовой этой борьбы сильные, отважные, самоотверженные люди, солдаты и офицеры вооруженных сил, бойцы войск Национальной гвардии, сотрудники МВД, специальных служб и подразделений. Сегодня в Кремле собрались не просто профессионалы с огромным опытом и безупречной выучкой. Это командиры, которые с самого начала военной операции ведут бой рядом со своими солдатами, делят все испытания со своими однополчанами. Это люди с твердыми нравственными принципами, идеалами, настоящие патриоты России. Символом признания ваших заслуг являются высокие государственные награды, которых вы удостоены. И прежде всего золотые звезды героев. Среди присутствующих представители командования, офицеров специальных и...
Okay, so I think this might this was a speech given. You can take a look at it. It is from DW's News. So, Ukraine war. So it has been 4 years since the Ukraine war has started, and US has actually taken a step back as soon as President Trump came. US has actually taken a step back from this specific war. Look, I don't think President Trump is interested in fighting President Putin. Mostly because in President Putin, I see that's my opinion. I don't find him to be unreasonable in most instances. Okay, currently in Ukraine, the peace negotiations that are going on, President Putin is saying, or the Russian side is saying, that it's not going to give up the land which they have captured. That I think that's going to be it. He's not going to give up the land because then I think he won't have anything to answer to Russia as well. But in these negotiations, the only problem is that the European side is actually hindering this deal to happen because they want the status quo to be restored, which means they want that President Putin should give up the land that they have captured, and he's not going to do that. He's not going to do those things which Europe wants. So this war is just prolonging, and it is not good for anybody. Anyways, I see that this war might end soon because a lot of effort has been gone into this, and with all the things that that are going on currently in the world, like there's a Middle East problem, which is a big problem. There's a Greenland issue that is going on. I think this issue is going to, we might see it solving pretty soon because nobody wants this war to continue. Even President Putin does not want this war to continue. President Trump does not want this war to continue. But according to President Putin, the European side wants this war to continue. Anyways, this war, I hope it ends soon. It has been a long time. And in this article, also, it's written Europe has to decide what it wants from this war. So we have an article from The Guardian. Our classrooms are empty because the graveyards are full. True. A lot of people have been killed in Iran's protest in January, and this is going to come up. Um, and this is coming up at the same time when Iran is surrounded by US. Although Russia is saying that they condemn these actions, they don't like such amassing of army. It is a huge escalation, but I don't think they're going to do anything. Let's see. China urges US to scrap unilateral tariff after Supreme Court ruling. That is not going to happen. President Trump is not going to strike down any tariff. He's going to find ways to implement those. And according to reports, he has made a significant amount of money, about $170 billion or something, from these tariffs. Let's ask Gemini, how much has US made from Donald Trump's tariffs? Okay. Mm, it's gonna answer soon. Political acceleration fuels the deep sea gold rush. A call for science informed global governance. Okay. So what these countries are doing, that they have exhausted all the resources and minerals on the land, so they are going for the ocean. That they're going to dig deep into the ocean resources and get those. Now, there has been certain problems in this. The ISA, International Seabed Association, it is something like this. This is a UN body, okay, which assigns contracts to deep sea mining. The problem is that China is the holder for largest number of exploration contracts issued by ISA. Now, since China holds these contracts, the main problem today is that mostly UN, there's a significant influence of United States on UN. China holds a majority of these contracts. At till a point, US and China relations were good. Everything was going good, but since they've gone bad, a lot of these things are happening due to these geopolitical alliances. It is definitely difficult to go for deep sea extraction of mineral resources. Okay, The other problem is that there is a risk associated with it. Obviously, if you're going to go that deep into the ocean and mine for resources, it can create all kinds of problems because we don't know. It can create a lot of problems. There was this movie a little while ago where an oil field busted out somewhere in North Sea or somewhere it happened, and it bursted out, and it caught fire. So these kinds of these kinds of things also happen. So there is that risk as well. Shifting geopolitical dynamics, geopolitical global ocean governance, intensifying ecological risk. Okay, we've covered all. Iran's universities, let's see how much he has made. To answer how much, we have to look at both first and massive tariffs. Okay, here's the breakdown. Okay, it an increase of nearly 200%. They have in custom duties only. Okay, then there is U.S. Customs and Border Protection officially reported collecting over 200 billion between January December. Okay, when factored into all since the current has put roughly 314 billion since the start of 2025. Okay, so they have made a significant amount of money. Although I'm not sure how much money this is for the US government, it might be a small amount, but still, $314 billion looks big to me. So I don't think President Trump is going to stop these tariffs because he has, like on paper, he has made America richer, and let's see what he does with this money. Okay, thank you, everyone. We will be back again tomorrow with some more news, and we'll bring some more research topics as well. So thank you for join and subscribe for more, and like this and share this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you.